Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. Shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today? Where, hello, I'm back. Yes. So if you haven't been paying attention to the Animal Crossing videos, which is fair enough, not everyone watches the Animal Crossing ones. I forgot what I was saying immediately. Oh yes. I have been on holiday for the past since last Friday, essentially. I've also realised that the Okami episode today does not have a YouTube thumbnail up, so I definitely need to do that at some point. But yes, hello everyone, and I'm Fawnhallow. It's 2:53 p.m. on Saturday, June 15th, 2024. So we'll do that as well. But yeah, I guess grand reveal. Where did I go to? I went with a few friends, and we went to Greece. I'm not sure if I mentioned it before. I might have mentioned it before. Normally, I don't mention where I'm going until after I come back. Not really for any reason. It just, I don't know. It feels like it makes more sense that way to talk about it within past tense rather than really in future tense. But yes, I went to Greece with a few friends. I guess a TLDR summary of the entire holidays. We went to Athens, mainly because Coldplay had a concert there, and we checked out some things in Athens, and then we went to an island in Greece called Crete, where we had an all-inclusive experience, which was interesting. It was the first time I've ever done something like that. And so yeah, this is basically what we'll be milking conversationally for the next month, maybe. So you've certainly got that to look forward to. I'm not sure if I'm going to do all the Okami numberings right now, but I will at least do number 65, which is today's episode. Otherwise, I will forget about it. So good job on past me for recording this episode in advance, actually. How's Animal Crossing Fun Alert coming along? Has not progressed. Auto-generated tests and compare. So you can they have an actual automatic feature to be able to test and compare thumbnails. Not something which I will particularly use because I'm not here to necessarily get more eyes on what I'm doing. Well, I mean, yeah, that's always cool, I think, but I'm here to play games. Wow, there's been a lot of comments since I've last responded. Okay. What was I going to say? I honestly completely forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, so we'll take bits and pieces, piecewise, from the holiday, and we'll talk about it. Just let you know, if you remember, I went to Spain like a year ago. I don't even think I finished going through all the things I did in Spain, to be perfectly honest. I don't think I ever made it to whatever the final destination area was. But yeah, it was great. It was a very. I think I would define it as a much more relaxing holiday rather than a events-filled holiday, like one in Croatia or Spain or that sort of thing. Normally, when it goes to holidays, I think it's more steeped in how my family do holidays, or used to do holidays, I suppose. Is we would basically go to a place and then we'd spend like the entire day, doing these sightseeing, tourist sort of things and activities. So it's basically like, as I say, chock-a-block filled with things from start to finish. But this was a nice change of pace. It was considerably more relaxed, which is that necessarily my type of holiday? I don't think it's like completely something. I'm not against it, but is it definitively my type of holiday? I think it depends on the location. As I suppose I'll talk about in the end, but there's not. Athens is like pretty small actually. Turns out you could basically do it in one day. There's not too much to see apart from like the Acropolis and some areas of interest, at least in my opinion, compared to some other European cities. And the islands are nice. Everyone's very chilled, everyone's very much relaxed and having a great time. It seems like sort of basically the perfect country to go to have like an all-inclusive relaxing experience like that. Would I do that for every holiday? No, probably not. I mean, I'm not really one person. I'm not really the type of person to be like, oh yeah, I have a strong desire to like travel the world and go on all these holidays. I think it's fascinating in that sense, but I don't know. I don't have that innate desire, that sort of wanderlust in me. And I think I talk about this a lot. I'm not saying that I don't like holidays. I very much appreciate the holidays, but I know my friends are very much for sort of driving enthusiasm force behind it in the first place. But yeah, I guess I'll just start talking about Athens. And one thing that we basically did, and as I say, one of the big things to visit in Athens is the historical sites, I suppose. Ancient Greek history is vast and goes on a long way backwards. I don't really know much about it. I don't know too much about history. I know some people are very passionate about ancient Greece, ancient, Roman empires and that sort of thing. But me, myself, I'm not really... I don't hate history. And the concept of it is fine, but it's not something I go and... it's not like an interest I pursue outside of just like, tour guides or things like that. But we went to go see the Acropolis, basically, which is... I'm not really... I mean, it's just like a really famous old building. If you ask me specifically why it's famous, I don't think I could tell you because I don't actually know. I should know, but if anything, at the very least, it's more sort of like a marvel of architectural, I'm not sure prowess is necessarily the right word I want to use, but of architectural, impressiveness, isn't it? It's a very famous building, the Acropolis, whatever Parthenon is, something like that. As I understand it, the Acropolis is like that sort of general. I'm really going to expose my ignorance, I think, when it comes to ancient Greek history. Well, history full stop. But the Acropolis is that sort of general historical area site. And the Parthenon is that main building, the one which people picture when they think ancient Greece. It's that like sort of marble temple with the white pillars coming down. But there's also other things in it, like... I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. But there's some other like smaller buildings within it as well. But yeah, we went to go see that. It's in Athens in Greece, and right now it's decently hot, so it's around like 30. I mean, it's like pretty hot for my British standards. I don't know why I'm in here, to be perfectly honest. I don't know if I was going to sell things. I was meant to look at my Nook Mile missions. I just didn't, I guess. But what I was going to say is that it's pretty hot in Greece. It's like mid to high 30 degrees Celsius. I can't remember what the humidity levels were. I think we're around like 30, 40-ish or something. 30-ish? That sounds right, 30-ish. So it was pretty hot. It wasn't like a suffocating heat. It didn't feel like a hot, like overwhelming, like humid heat, which I'm sure you get like in rainforesty sort of areas, etc., etc. But it was still pretty hot and much hotter than I'm used to. You might be like, was it nice for it to be that hot? Yeah, and... sometimes, and then I was just like, man, this is like too hot to deal with, in my opinion. I much prefer cold weather, but still, it was very hot. So we arrived like quite late at night. When I'll cover this in this episode, but we arrived very late at night. Oh, I don't have a colourful shovel. Apparently, I didn't know that. At like 11ish or something p.m. I genuinely can't remember. No, like 9ish or 10, and we were basically just like making our way to the Airbnb we were staying at. We stayed in Athens. I can't tell you the area because I don't remember off the top of my head. But like we just like stopped to eat dinner, have a way at like this random like I never know how you say it. Gyros? I think it's gyros. I don't know what the Greek way to say it necessarily is, but
Gyro.
Hold on, no, that's like a gyroscope.
Gyro.
I thought it was like gyro or something, but anyway, we stopped at some gyros at a gyros like shop. I don't know what else to call it. It was pretty good actually. It was actually one it was a surprisingly like good gyros. If that was like something during my university times, which would have been like a food truck or something, I definitely would have bought food from it. It was delicious. Genuinely, actually, probably one of the best gyros I've ever had. But I've not also had a lot of gyros. What was in mine? I don't remember. I think it was mixed of like chicken and lamb, chicken and beef. I generally cannot recall. But that's pretty good. Some cats about the place, and then we walked to the place we were staying, which was fine. It was nice. It wasn't like luxurious or anything like that, but it did what it needed to do, which is just like be a place where we can like get changed and prepare for morning. And then we slept, and then we woke up in the morning. Next day, immediately, we had tickets to go to the Acropolis, which was at 10 a.m, which might be like, oh, that sounds pretty early for morning. It really isn't. If anything, that feels quite late for tourism exploration. But yeah, I meant we can much more leisurely go to the Acropolis. I think we walked there from where we were. And did we walk the entire way? I think so. I'm trying to remember, and this is where I got to get my photo album open so I actually remember. And this is where I also remember if anything interesting happened during the airport, if there was any shenanigans. I don't really think so, to be honest. We had Nando's for lunch. I don't know what's going on here. That's gyros we were eating. Getting already. Oh yeah, we stopped by like this breakfast place, which was okay-ish, I would say. There's this photo of me, and I look like I have such a tiny head in this photo. What on earth is going on? But yeah, we just walked up to Acropolis, Hadrian's Library. There was a photo of that there. Photo of, I don't even know what that is. We had some really good sights. It was really hot. So it's getting like used to the heat. And then we already had tickets in advance. The ticket queue was crazy. We got there even a little bit early. So we bought some really, really expensive slushies at the top. I think they were like €4 each or something. Oh, it does remind me. I do need to send out requests for any money or things that happened today. But I can do that later. It's not like a rush or anything. But yes, we had some very expensive slushies at the top. We had like strawberry and lemon combinations, which seem to be by far and away the most common flavour for slushies, I would say. Can we jump over a pond with a vaulting pole? I'm just trying to figure out how we're going to get that weed. Oh, what? I swear I couldn't slip through here before. Oh, we can jump across anyway, as we sort of de-weed Fawnhallow. And then we went to Acropolis, and I would say, it looks pretty cool. Don't get me wrong. I think it's probably less heightened by the fact I don't really know much history about ancient Greece or the Acropolis. I assume it is a temple of worship, maybe of Zeus, but I feel like Temple of Zeus is a different thing to the Acropolis, but I'm also not sure. I probably should have looked this up. There weren't really many signs. I know we actually did go to the Acropolis Museum afterwards, and you might have been like, didn't you learn stuff from there? And the answer is, I just kind of like looked at the amazing architecture and the statues that people made, and basically just thought to myself, like, that is honestly crazy how people can actually just like make this. It was impressive. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, we were there. We took some photos. It was nice. It was a very hot day. It was insanely busy. It was so incredibly busy. It was almost like no room to like move about in, but you know, we still managed to get our pictures in. We still like found a space. It was basically a huge queue for ages, is what I'd say. So you know, be mindful of that if you go visit the Acropolis yourself. And we went on a weekend, which I know it doesn't matter to tourists if they're on a weekend, but I'm sure maybe there was about the reason it was a bit busier than usual. I don't really know. Probably it makes more sense to go, you know, during work hours. Ooh, birdwing butterfly. I forget we're in the summer months now, and that is something which is possible. But it's very impressive. The thing which certainly was a bit of a caveat to it is the fact there's a lot of scaffolding around the Acropolis at the moment, which I believe, as we looked up, was to do with like reinforcing it, because they were trying to like I'm not sure if rebuilding is the right word, but they were trying to like reinforce it somehow. And it was very much a thing where I was just like, oh, okay, you know, it does kind of look like it's like a set piece under construction, which is like a weird sort of dissonance to sort of get around, I think. Apparently there's 2 comments of his photo album. I don't know if any of them from. Oh, cute. What's going on? With all of this. I didn't really realise Google Photos had like a comment and like liking feature, to be honest. That's very amusing. Are you just sleeping, Audie? No, you're reading a book. Okay. Yeah, technically I was seeing a show. I was seeing Coldplay, but yeah, we went to Acropolis. What else happened during Acropolis? I was trying to think. I can't really remember much else at the actual Acropolis itself. But there was a temple of something nearby, which I also. Oh, I did take a picture of a sign, or someone took a picture of a sign. No, I didn't. My friend did. The Erecvium. Actually, I could probably just look at Google, not Google Maps, right? Acropolis. I shared my one fact I know about the Acropolis, which I learned from QI, and I also got it wrong, by the way. I said that in the Acropolis, there are no straight lines, of course, but it's something like it tapers is wide. I was like it tapers outwards, basically. It's like convex because for some reason looking from the base upwards makes it look straight. If you built it like actually straight, it would look like it curves inwards or something like that. Turns out that's not the reason. The reason is that they built it to withstand earthquakes by making it a wider base at the bottom, because that makes it more stable. It's apparently one of the reasons the Acropolis managed to stay, you know, non-ruined, I suppose, by the earthquakes which affect Greece. I don't really know how frequently Greece gets them, but still, for so long, is because they have this very stable structure. Well, there was two things actually. It was wider at the base of the columns and sort of like tapers thinly upwards, and then also whatchamacallit, the entire structure is made out of like 2 types of marble, which I'm not really sure how that makes it stronger. It didn't really expand upon that, but yeah. So it turns out I got my column base fact wrong. I thought it was a not visibility thing. I thought it was like an illusion sort of thing, but it really wasn't. It was just to make it stronger. But anyway, so there was a Requiem Acropolis of Athens. What was this one? That was it. Temple of Athena Nike, which we saw. I'm pretty sure. Yes. The Greek flag of Athens Acropolis, which is just a huge Greek flag. The old Acropolis Museum, which we didn't really look at. And the Parthenos. Yeah, it's a temple ruins, basically. Historic landmark. There's also some weird thing about, like, they did some rebuilding to it, but they snuck it in during, like, when COVID was a thing, and I don't really remember. There's some, like, controversy around it. I cannot exactly remember the rest of the context. Yeah, I don't remember what else there was to say about it. So I don't know, the Acropolis. I mean, it's a very cool building. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like my devoid of context around it, my own fault really. Remember, I couldn't. Maybe I didn't appreciate it as much as I probably should have. We got some good photos around it though. It's a very cool looking building, and it's a thing with history. It's amazing that these records survive thus long. Maybe this is like my modern day bias, but I feel like this sort of history is going to become less frequent in a sense. Like 2000, like I can't remember when Acropolis was built. I'm going to say it's about 2,000 years ago. I'm not actually sure if that's true, but 2,000 years in the future, a lot of the things that I think from our day will probably preserve into that future, like mainly because now we have more of a mindset of preservation for the future. The things that we have are much more long lasting, I suppose, in that sense. Not everything, of course. I don't mean like your everyday buildings, but things which are meant to last might last, I think, especially with a digital era, unless, you know, there's like a EMP or something which takes out all electronics. But yeah, I don't know, the Acropolis, it was cool, you know. Ancient Greek's cool. Very fitting, I suppose, that I was listening to Epic Musical very recently, just before going to Greece, because that touched a lot of Greek mythology, I suppose. Not really much about Greek mythology, which I learned, apart from Athena being represented by a symbol of an owl, which I'm almost embarrassed that I didn't know that before, because, like, I don't know, I feel like that's something I just should have known. Anyway, I don't know, it's good to be back. This is like a warm-up conversation. I'm going to go record some Paradise Killer now. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope you see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.